So what's up guys, I'm Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video on the channel where today what we're going to do is take a look at how we think the story is going to begin in Black Ops 5 Zombies, or Black Ops V, Black Ops Gulf War, whatever it's going to be called, Treyarch's next game in 2024. How will the story start in that game? Before then we have Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, but we know that's going to be taking place between Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2, so that will actually take place in the future. It will be a sequel to whatever we see take place in BO5 Zombies, let's just call it that, in Treyarch's next game. And so because of that, we can totally ignore whatever story is going to be told in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, since it won't have any effect on it. But looking at the story that we were told in Black Ops Cold War, and I guess a little bit of BO4 as well, the end of that game, we can predict how the story might begin in 2024 Zombies. So anyway, if you do go on to enjoy the video, drop a like rating, make sure you are subscribed to our close to 700,000 subscribers, so if you aren't subscribed, just clicking that button would really help out. However, with that out of the way, let's get into it, here we go. So we know the story that Treyarch are telling in their next game is still a part of the Dark Ether story, and it's going to be a sequel to whatever we saw happen in Black Ops Cold War Zombies. So the final map for that game, Forsaken, a bunch of different things happen that will continue on in the next story. The first thing is, Samantha, in order to end the zombie outbreak and close all of the outbreak zones, plunged herself into the Forsaken, in turn trapping herself within the Dark Ether. That was Samantha's last known action and location in Cold War, so currently within the zombie storyline, she is still trapped within the Dark Ether. What we do know is it's going to be taking place at least 5 years later, during the 1990s, which was when the Gulf War took place. But because we know time in the Dark Ether works differently to how it does in reality, it is faster or slower depending on how you look at it. If she's still trapped in there in our next game 5 years later, then I don't know the exact conversion, but she could have been in the Dark Ether for like 20 years. So there's really no telling what would have happened to her the next time we see her. We can assume we're going to see her again. It wouldn't make sense not to, but we know the Dark Ether changes people physically and mentally. Some people who got sent into there eventually turned into Dark Ether creatures such as the mimics or even zombies. Some people stayed physically fine, but changed in other ways. They became delirious, confused, suffered from memory loss. Samantha has been trapped in the Dark Ether for extended periods of time previously. That's exactly how we saw her get her powers in Cold War, how she's able to fly and shoot bloody beams out of her eyes or arms, how she can destroy things around her. She is corrupted by the Dark Ether, so whether or not her being trapped in there for even longer now will change her even more, we don't know. Maybe it won't. Maybe she's already corrupted by it as much as she can be and that's it. But what we do know for certain is she is in the Dark Ether, and the next time we see her, she probably won't be the same, even if that means little changes such as just being more angry and frustrated. It was also revealed at the end of the story that the director of Requiem was Richtofen. We kind of figured it out before anyway. We could have guessed from the clues that we were given, but a few intriguing things happen with him. The first being his relationship with Samantha. In the final few maps that we got for Cold War, he began to interrogate Samantha when he had her locked up. We still don't know the full reasons why he did that, why he was torturing his childhood best friend, what he was trying to get out of it. So it's going to be interesting to see what Samantha and Richtofen's relationship is going to be like when they do finally meet each other, or should I say when Samantha realizes exactly who the director of Requiem is, being Richtofen, because at the moment she doesn't know it's him, and it doesn't seem like she can even remember Richtofen from what we can tell so far. In the Forsaken cutscene, Richtofen also had the Requiem team imprisoned, so Gray, Dr. Strauss, Carver, etc. were all thrown into cells. We were told by the Forsaken before we killed him that if we do defeat him, which we did, then our characters would die. He showed us a vision of what would happen if we defeated him, and we saw in that vision Gray, Strauss, Carver, Weaver dead in their cell. That was the vision, and what happened when we defeated him, our characters were thrown in cells, but what we didn't see is their death, and if what he showed us is right, then that could mean our characters are going to die. Unless he was lying or something changes, maybe the crew are going to die but somehow end up breaking the prophecy, let's just call it that. But there's a chance, just like the Forsaken showed us, the Requiem team, consisting of Weaver, Strauss, Carver and Gray, die, but they might not. I just have a funny feeling that Treyarch probably won't kill them. Somehow they'll break that cycle and someone or something will save them. And talking about the Forsaken, what happened to him? Well, he got contained inside of this device. He was then flown away on a helicopter, but we never found out what his death was. Some people predicted that he was dumped into the bottom of the ocean. Other people think that he's still somewhere in Black Site 13, contained, locked up. One thing's for sure is he probably isn't dead. He is still alive, just trapped. So what's going to happen to him is a big question. I would guess, just, thinking of predictable storylines, he's going to escape eventually, but he may not. It is Richtofen who wanted him contained. Why? Maybe Richtofen wants to harness his powers for himself. And the final thing was shown in the Forsaken ending cutscene on Richtofen's computer screen. On his group memo, there was a list of 4 different things, which was acquiring the entity, being the Forsaken, and sealing all of the breaches, basically the zombie outbreak zones. And he also mentioned Samantha being locked within the Dark Ether. But Richtofen's second point was, she is no longer a problem for Project Janus. We've heard about Project Janus a few times in Zombies radios, but we don't know what it is. Janus is a Roman god. He's known for having 2 faces. That's about all we can derive from this. So what exactly is Project Janus? What is Richtofen working on? What does it involve, and why did he want Samantha out of the way for it? Project Janus is something that only Richtofen and a couple of other people higher than him know about. He's been hiding it from Weaver, who is still a high up character. Richtofen employed him in the first place. He didn't tell him about Project Janus, so it's top secret. Right now we can only guess as to what it would be, and anything I say could be totally wrong. We just don't know. All we have is a code name for it. Could Project Janus revolve around the revival of Primus or Ultimus? Maybe, but probably not. Could it, like I mentioned earlier, revolve around him trying to extract the powers of the Forsaken? Could it be about him trying to harness the Dark Ether or control the undead again? I wouldn't think so, since he's closed the outbreak zones. No one's sure what Richtofen's secret project is. That's just something that's going to be revealed in time. And the very final thing we saw at the end of the cutscene, where it revealed that 5 years after all of that took place in Japan, Dr. Peck arrives here, where he wants to rent a boat to travel to here, just off the coast of Japan. Now, exactly what's here we don't know. The fisherman tells Dr. Peck that there's nothing there, but he wants to go there for some reason. If you take a look at maps, there are a few small islands around there. There are the Agasawa Islands, I probably said that wrong, and a few others. I don't know specifically which point he's pointing to. Is it some islands, or is it the middle of the ocean? Either way, he's being told there's nothing there, but clearly if he wants to go there, then there is. There have been predictions that this is where the Forsaken was dropped off when he was captured. The device that he was in was dropped here in the middle of the ocean, and that's why Peck wants to go here to recover him. However, since this is 5 years after Forsaken's ending, there is a chance that this is where we start off in BO5 Zombies. If this is an island that Peck's going to, then maybe that will be our first BO5 Zombies map. What will happen to Samantha in the Dark Ether? Will she escape? If so, will she be different? What will happen to the Forsaken? Will he be contained forever, or will he escape? What will happen with Richtofen? What's Project Janus? What's his plan? Will Team Requiem die? And what is Peck up to? Where is he going to, and why? All storyline points that I'm guessing will be continued to be told in Treyarch's next game in 2024, next year. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed the video today. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the next Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.